What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here for the Sunday weekly video. Little market recap, chit chat about some the comings and goings of the sports card world, and just general check in, catch up. So, what's been going on this week? We had the Backyard Breaks Fanatics pairing. Did a video on that earlier this week. Reception to that seems to be what you would expect it to be. A lot of people kind of scratching their heads now that we've kind of had a few days to marinate on this. It's just a bad look. It encourages people to continue to do bad things and get rewarded for it. The gold Trevor Lawrence kaboom should have been the end of it, but that wasn't enough to kill them. They still have their supporters, and they've been accused of a bunch of other stuff. I've never used them. I have no personal experience with them, so it is what it is. But as long when bad actors do things like this, if the hobby continues to support them with their wallets after the fact, then they're going to keep doing it. So, and from Fanatics' perspective, like I said during that video, they're just looking at view counts, subscriber counts, followers on TikTok, Twitch, etc., and seeing how much exposure that they're going to get. Maybe they didn't even know about this. Who knows? But I have to imagine someone said, hey, maybe this isn't the best idea. I don't know. Had the SGC interview with Peter. That seemed to be extremely well received, both by my normal viewers, and then I got a bunch of extra traffic of SGC. Peter went on Instagram, if you didn't see it, and did a quick little reel. I'm not up on my IG terminologies. Posted a short video on IG discussing the interview and directed a lot of traffic my way for that. So once again, shout out to Peter and SGC for being willing to come on the channel. Like I said, I talked about it in the live stream. We talked almost an hour and a half on camera and probably another hour to hour and a half off camera after the interview. Just one of those people that you could just sit down and immediately just have a conversation with without really knowing each other. So really good interview, really great talk with him. We'll see, what SGC's got cooking and what they got coming next as the grading landscape continues to shift and change. And then PSA opened up economy events wide open. Once again, we've kind of discussed that a bunch as well. We'll see where that goes from there. I listened to the PSA podcast just on Thursday or Friday, and they quoted the backlog at 3.6 million. With an early fall wrap up, which is what they said in the little blog post that they dropped. But, that's early fall for the backlog to be cleared. I'm going to imagine they're going to start priming the pump and opening things up well sooner than that. I got to imagine here in a couple months, we start to see things moving and shaking out of them. Probably I wouldn't be surprised if, I wonder if we get an announcement in line with the National. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. Channel news, nothing crazy, but this upcoming week, I had it wrong last week. I talked about this last week. This upcoming week is the 2-year anniversary of the channel. Whoops. So I do have a live stream pre-scheduled for Wednesday. I think I put 7:30 Eastern time. Not sure how long we'll go, probably for a little bit at least. I'm going to send an invite out to friends of the channel and see if anyone wants to pop on and chit chat for a little bit, even if it's just for a couple minutes. So we'll see what we get. It might just be me by myself, or it could be who knows who popping in, talking about any number of things from sports cards, Marvel cards, comic books, whatever. And then I'm debating what I want to do for Wednesday's actual video in regards to like a little 2-year retrospective, maybe deep dive some YouTube statistics. I don't know. I'll noodle on that one. I've been trying to think about what I want to do for that actual video, but I'm not 100% sure yet. So we'll see. Just kind of talking. It'll be something more generally specific about, what it's been like making content for 2 years on YouTube. So the other thing that I kind of put into the ether, and I'm curious for your feedback, and then, after this, we'll get into some charts and graphs. I breathed this into existence during the live stream on Friday. I did a quick little live stream on Friday for about an hour and a half, solo for most of it, and because Carlos popped on for a little bit towards the back half. But I did the comic book versus sports card video on Friday. And while I was recording that and researching for it and putting the stuff together, I had thought it might be interesting to, and once again, please feedback in the comments down below on this one for this idea, to start a series where I build out a portfolio, essentially a sports card portfolio and a comic book portfolio. I don't know what the price points would be. This would not be stuff I would actually be buying. I am just more genuinely curious as a thought experiment on this as to, you know, if you put, I don't know, I'm literally just making up a number, 50K into sports cards and 50K into comic books, what does that look like, you know, month over month? So what I was thinking about doing with it was building it with like the community, like go on, do a live stream and say like, okay, tonight we are spending 50K in sports cards. What do we want to look at? And try to put a well-rounded list together. So it would probably be more, I don't want to say vintage, but more established cards with probably a little spice of modern just to give it a little bit of, you know, upside. And then same thing on the comic book side. It would be a lot of like Copper Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age, blue chip keys, you know, to pair against kind of like cards I used similar in that video. On that side, I don't know what the right dollar number is. If you have thoughts and comments on that, leave it down below. If you think this would be interesting, leave it in the comments down below. If you think this is stupid, leave that in the comments down below too. Just let me know. And then what I was thinking of doing was checking in on it like once a month. I don't know that it needs to be weekly or anything crazy like that, or maybe every 2 weeks. Just check in, and I'll just keep it on a spreadsheet, and you know, we'll just kind of see what it does and how it does. I don't know that I want it to be like 100 cards or anything crazy like that, because it's going to have to be kind of a manually check thing. So maybe it's 10 cards, 10 comic books that, you know, are around the same price point. I don't know. We could figure that stuff out, but just curious for your thoughts on that. With all that being said, I think that's all I got. Oh, preview of something to come. I have my local show on Saturday. I don't think I was gonna go to the Cleveland show today when this video is posting, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to. The wife and I are gonna look at some houses. Picked up a new CSG slab. One of my dealer friends had one in their case. It was a Cavs player, and it was cheap, and I said, done, deal. So I think I might do a little review video on that. It might not be very long. It might literally be like a 4 or 5 minute video. I don't know. But look for that this week. So I have a new CSG case in hand. I won't spoil anything, so we'll save that for a video later this week. But yeah, with that being said, quick word from our sponsor, MySlabs.com for today's video, and then we'll dive into some charts and graphs.
The platform designed by collectors for collectors just got even better. MySlabs.com is proud to now feature dedicated sections for both raw cards and raw comic books. Browse over 100,000 slab collectibles, authenticated by the industry's most trusted grading companies. Then check out a massive selection of sealed wax and now raw singles and raw lots. Join a passionate, no-nonsense community of nearly 50,000 members and enjoy some of the best buyer and seller protection in the business. And as always, MySlabs offers one of the most disruptive pricing models in the hobby, with seller fees as low as only 1%. So the next time you're forced to pay 10%, 20%, or more to sell something from your collection, head over to MySlabs.com, the low-fee marketplace by collectors for collectors.
Once again, shout out to MySlabs.com for sponsoring today's video. And with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into Market Movers. Link in the description down below if you want a $1 1-month trial of Market Movers. Looking at 3 major sports today, starting with basketball. Obviously, no Saturday games, but we have 2 Game 7s on Sunday. Celtics, Bucks, and Mavs, Suns. Those should be a doozy. I feel like we got cheated on Warriors, Grizzlies. That series was really fun, and then Ja had to go get hurt. Sports Cards Anonymous paid off his boy Jordan Poole to put a hit out on my boy Ja Morant, and we all saw what happened there. So I feel like we got cheated on that series a little bit. Heat Sixers series was pretty boring. I'd be lying to you if I said I watched a ton of that series. Harden looks washed. I feel bad for 76ers if they give him a massive contract, but I think whoever comes out of Boston, Milwaukee ends up making beats the Heat and goes to the NBA Finals. I don't think that's like a news flash there. I'm not sure on Middleton's status. And then in the West, like I said, the Warriors got past the Grizzlies, but they did not look great doing it, considering there was no Ja Morant in that series, or at least for the back half of that series. I think whoever wins Mavs Suns beats the Warriors. I really do. I'm not sure the Warriors can beat either one of those teams. I think it'll be a very competitive series, but I'm not sure that they can handle either one of those teams. For Game 7 predictions, I'll give some Game 7 predictions. And once again, let me know in the comments down below Game 7 predictions. I'm going to go Bucks over Celtics and Mavs over Suns. Part of this is just I'm being selfish, and I want the outside chance, that we get Luka v. Giannis in the NBA Finals. I think it was on the Bill Simmons podcast, they were talking about this. That's the future. Luka v. Giannis is, could be this generation's Kobe LeBron. I know that they never got to face each other in the finals, but it could be something like that. So I think it would be a real treat as an NBA fan. And from a card perspective, obviously it would be awesome if Luka got there, but just from a straight NBA fan perspective, to see Luka go against Giannis in the NBA Finals, I think would be special. Now, obviously they got work to do, so I am selfishly rooting for those two players to advance. But I do think whoever wins Bucks Celtics wins the NBA title. That if I had to bet here, that's where I would place my money. Let's dive in and look at some individual cards and individual markets. Once again, I'm using the new, it's about a month old now, but the Market Pulse thing for the individual airs. And what this allows you to do is it pre-groups cards together and gives you just a general idea of a macro level view. We'll look at some individuals as well, but I really like the way that this has been working out so far, at least from a video perspective. So NBA, two different indexes here. The blue line is 2018 to 2020, so ultra modern, and the pink line is modern. And this is over the last 7 days. Both markets are essentially ever so slightly down. Minus 1%, minus 1.7%. So not much movement there. If we blow it out to 30 days, just for the hell of it, ultra modern is down about 7%. Modern is down about 4%. So both markets trending down, but not, crashing, which is kind of what we're seeing around most of the collectibles industry. Looking at some individual cards here, Luka has been on a little bit of a rise lately. I pulled his Optic Holo and his Prism 10 Silver. Both are slightly up. The Holo more so up 24%, Silver up 10%, well 8%. But trending in the right direction. And once again, this will swing a lot based off what happens later today. But from a card perspective, I think it would be really good for Luka to win. I am rooting for Luka to make the Western Conference Finals. The Suns team is fun and all, and they are really good, but CP3 looks like he's wearing down a little bit or may even be hurt. But like I said, Team Luka, hashtag Team Luka. So his stuff's trending up a little bit. On the flip side, Morant going down, obviously, out of the playoffs now, had the knee injury, played extremely well when he played, man. He looks really good. Dakota will yell about him being injury prone and look what happened and this, that, and the other thing, but I enjoy watching the dude play basketball. He is so much fun. So I hope he can figure the injury thing out. This one was kind of a fluke thing with the bruised knee. And I think the Grizzlies are primed for a 2-for-1, 3-for-1 deal. I think they need one. They need a Robin. They do not have a Robin. Ja is Batman on that team. There is no Robin. There's like a bunch of, C-listers. There's no B. There's no second fiddle. It's kind of like a Luka situation almost. But Ja's definitely not on Luka's level. So I'd be curious to see if Memphis can bring in like some grade A talent to run next to him. I think that would be really, really interesting. But he's a blast to watch. Optic Holo 10, Silver Prism 10, both trending down. Optic Holo is down about 10%. Silver Prism is down about 15%, down to $1,100 to $1,200. $650 on the Optic Holo. I I would actually be intrigued on an Optic Holo if they got cheap enough. I don't know about the Silver Prism. Those still seem kind of risky for me. I've talked about this in various other videos, and I've gotten questions on it on the live stream as well. Like, hey, what are you buying now, or what are you looking for? I'm being extremely picky, basically, is where I'm at. I am not afraid to go out and buy stuff, but I am just going to be very choosy on what I'm buying. And to be quite honest with you all, I have been looking at comics way more than sports cards the last couple weeks. I haven't pulled the trigger on anything on either side, but just as I'm like deep diving this stuff, and I'm also in one of those weird points again. This happens every so often, where the fun money pile builds up a little bit because I don't buy anything, and it's like, do I want to knock something big off the list? And in this market, I'm a little hesitant to do that. So I really just don't know what I want to do right now. I'm kind of at a weird crossroads in regards to what I want to spend stuff on. I've been selling through that latest Marvel PSA return. I believe the last 2 cards from that I had for sale ship out tomorrow. And then after the $1,000 in grading fees, I'm going to probably triple up on that order, give or take. So I got a couple grand coming back from that in profit. So pretty good return there. But like I said, I'm kind of at a crossroads on what to actually run out and go buy. But I am looking at some potential bigger comic books. The Jock Chronicles, the Young Dolph card, we talked about this last week. It is definitely retracing fast. If you have this card, you should be selling it as fast as possible. This is a very common card. I pulled up the raw here for the purposes of this. You can see it spiked way up. We talked about this last week, and then it is coming right back down all the way. This is just raw. It's back down to $50 raw. Prior to the viral tweet, it was at $1,500 or $15. If you have this thing, just sell it. Wait a month. You'll be able to buy it back for 15 or 20 bucks. Just move the thing. Don't get cute. Don't get cute. That's it for basketball. Switching over to football. Once again, market pulse indexes. Blue line is ultra modern football 2018 to 2020. Pink line is 2010 to 2017, so modern. Ultra modern, just barely down 1.5%. Modern, down over 7%. Now, this gets a little weird because the pink line, the 2010 to 2017, is heavily skewed by Patrick Mahomes prices. If he goes way up or goes way down, this index will drastically shift just because his cards sell for so much money. His Silver Prism comped down a little bit this week at $5,300. One must have slipped through the cracks, not getting shill bid. So we got a $5,300 number there, which was a 20% drop in price. Probably wasn't really because of shill bidding, who knows. But regardless, that card's showing down, which pulled that whole index down with it. The ultra modern side of things down ever so slightly. We're going to look at Herbert and Burrow here in a second. Herbert has been the hot name around the social media verse. I see a lot of people talking about Herbert in the Twitter sphere, the hobby Twitter sphere. I follow a lot of different people on Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter, link in the description down below. Give me a little follow over there. I tweet out some links every once in a while and just some general shenanigans, usually when sports is going on. But a lot of Herbert buzz in the Twitter sphere. I actually traded for a Herbert card at the Hartville show on Saturday. We'll talk about that probably in a video later this week. I don't really have a ton of packages and stuff to show off, but we'll see what we could dig up. But I did trade for a Burrow Optic Blue Scope. Spoilers. Traded a Vlad Prism and some cash, a little bit of cash for a Herbert Scope. Blue, color match, nice looking card. His stuff is very buzzy along with Josh Allen's. I think their stuff continues to stay buzzy. I don't know if it goes up, but I just don't see it going down much. And I could see the National being a hype fest for those two guys in particular, and probably most other quarterbacks. The National tends to be quarterback central. So, looking at some individual cards, kind of mentioned it earlier. Burrow, Herbert, this is their Silver Prism and Optic Holos, staying very flat. A lot of other Herbert stuff is ticking up. Same with some Burrow stuff, but not all. Mostly Herbert seems to be getting the buzz over Burrow. Once again, these are their Silver Prisms. And I went back, a little over 30 days here. I wanted to get these couple extra sales in here, so I actually had data points because the silver PSA 10s don't sell often. But as you can see, basically holding firm. 1% up, 1% down, 1% down, 9% down. So you have the Herbert Holo at 720, the Burrow Holo at 660, Silver Herbert at 3K, Burrow Silver 2700. So very, very close together, with Herbert getting the slight edge between the two, and you'll pretty much see that across the board on most stuff. Like I said, I'm not a mind reader, not investment advice. I feel like these guys are going to be in demand at the National. Now, just because they're liquid and in demand does not mean their prices go up. We don't know that for sure, but I think their stuff will be easy to move. So if you're planning on attending the National, one thing that you could do is if you have cards that are not very liquid, move them into guys like this. If it's stuff that you're already looking to move anyway, put it into players that are going to be in demand. And I have a feeling that Herbert and Burrow and Josh Allen, I know Josh Allen's hurt here, but I feel like those are the three that everyone is going to be asking about at the National. Could be wrong. Who knows? We'll find out in about 2 months now, actually. Yeah. Wow. That's going to be here quick. 3 months. Yeah, 2 months. A little over 2 months. It's going to be here fast. Last but not least, baseball. The baseball market continues to be kind of, we kind of talked about it last week. Baseball has a real offensive issue right now. Hopefully they could figure that out if they want to figure it out. Major League Baseball as an entity is comical at best. Same thing here. Blue line is ultra modern. Pink line is modern. Ultra modern down ever so slightly, 1.5%. Modern up slightly. This is kind of like the Mahomes situation. Trout's prices really swing the modern section of this, and that section is actually up 2%. A lot of that is on the backs of Mike Trout. The Angels continue to play well. Trout is having a really strong season, and a lot of his stuff is going up. His regular tops update is up a couple $100 this week, and a lot of his other stuff is up, and a lot of his more rare stuff is up. Trout stuff is definitely trending up in the right direction. If they continue to play well, and he continues to have a really good season, and they could get into the playoffs, there's a situation where Trout stuff could get, I mean, it's already hot. I could see it cooling off a little bit in the summer, but if they're in the thick of things come fall, look out. Because it's kind of what everyone's been waiting for with Trout, is to see him actually do it in the playoffs. So interesting times ahead for Trout stuff. But like I said, the Angels are playing really, really well. Ohtani's been a little ho-hum. But generally speaking, the baseball market has just been kind of meh. No one is really just like, other than Trout, we're not seeing those breakout performances, those super hot weeks so far. Maybe it happens as the weather starts to turn. You know, we're only in mid-May. But once again, we kind of talked about this last week. You know, Vlad went on his monster run last year. Acuna went on a monster heater last year. Soto had his time in the sun. Ohtani. We're just not really seeing that yet. Soto's having an extremely weird season. They just continue to pitch around him left and right. I saw some crazy stat where like Soto's projected to end the season with like 35 home runs and 56 RBIs or something stupid, because he just keeps getting pitched around. It's dumb, and that team is not great at baseball right now. So that could potentially, I think, you know, I talked about wanting to get more Soto stuff and almost pulling the trigger in the spring, and I stopped myself. And this is part of the reason why, because I had a feeling there was going to be a buying opportunity on Soto in the summer. I hope his prices continue to trend down, and why everyone is fiending over Herbert, Burrow, and Allen at the National, I will be looking for Soto discounts. That's what I did at last year's National with the pink refractors. So we'll see what happens there with that. But baseball continues to be flat. Just for curious, I'm just going to blow this out 30 days. Modern down 2%, ultra modern down 14%. So ultra modern continues to trend down. And that is 2018 and newer. So that includes your like Topps Chrome wise, that would include pretty much everyone that you'd want it to include. Soto, Tatis, Ohtani, Acuna, Vlad, all those guys. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys and girls today. Like I said, upcoming videos this week that I know for sure, we'll do a CSG slab review. We will also do some sort of 2 years on YouTube nonsense. So probably not. It's probably something a little different than what I would normally do on the channel. So that'll be Wednesday's video for sure. Not sure what day on the CSG video yet. And beyond that, that's all I got rattling around in my head. Maybe we'll do something on Luka or whatever, depending on how these game 7s go later today. Don't know. But that's where we're at right now. Smash the like button. Subscribe if you're not. Notification bells. Whole 9 yards. Follow me on all the various social media platforms. And we will catch you guys and girls on the next one. Peace.